What is going on, y'all? This is Pay Me in Dividends, and today is March 4th, 2025. Now, for anybody who has been to my channel, you can see that my portfolio has had a pretty big drop, right? Not too long ago, about a couple weeks ago, I was over $90,000 in total portfolio value. And as you can see, as of today, I'm at $85,000. But today I want to talk about opportunity, right? I talk about this a lot on the channel, and so I'm actually excited for these times because these are the times where you really get rich, right? You're able to acquire assets at a discounted price, and so you're able to acquire more shares, and you're able to position yourself in a way to be successful, right? So the first thing we're going to look at the S&P map, right? This is a map on finriz.com that basically gives you a snapshot of what it is the biggest companies in the US are doing and how they are performing, right? So here you can change the time window. I like to look at year to date, right? Because it just gives you perspective on how the market is performing since January 1st of 2025, right? So we can see that all of these major companies are down right now. Microsoft is down 8%, Apple's down 4%, Nvidia is down 14%, Google's down almost 10%, right? It looks like Meta's performing pretty well this year so far, but a lot of other major companies are down. Look at Tesla, it is down 33%, right? But again, this is opportunity. So let's look at the SPY, right? This is the SPY ETF. It tracks the S&P 500, right? And we can see year to date, it is down about 1%, which is pretty big for an index, right? Considering the fact that typically the index or the S&P 500 itself typically returns about 10% return on a yearly basis. So for it to be down negative 1% in March is a big deal, right? So as of today, it is down 1% as well, right? If we look at the NASDAQ, we can see the NASDAQ is actually down 3% since January 1st of 2025, right? And just today, it is down about 0.5%. If we look at Bitcoin, now Bitcoin is interesting because Bitcoin has been very, very, very volatile, right? Just a couple days ago, it shot up again over 90,000 after we had this massive drop over here, right? So if we look at the dates, we can see late February, right? February 24th, it was still in the 90s, and then bam, there was a huge drop down to 80, and I believe it actually touched 78 or 79,000. You can't see it on this chart, but it did drop right below 80,000, and then it kind of shot up again into the 90s briefly for a day or two. And then as of today, it is back under 90,000 for Bitcoin, right? So the market is very, very volatile. And if you looked at my video yesterday, you'll see that you can actually capitalize off of the volatility in the crypto market and use it to create cash flow in the form of dividends, right? So if you haven't seen that video, go check out that video, and I gave you guys a couple ideas of different crypto ETFs that are able to extract option premium out of the crypto market and leverage that volatility in order to create that cash flow, right? So here's a couple stocks I want to look at today because I actually made some purchases, right? Again, this is a buying opportunity at a discounted price. So the first one that I took a bite out of is AMZP. I already had a position in AMZP. I already had 200 shares of AMZP at an average price of $32.08. So I went ahead and bought 20 more shares. As you can see here, this is a screenshot from my brokerage account. I went ahead and bought 20 more shares today on March 4th at a price of $28.57, which then lowered my cost basis down under $32 a share, right? So before these 20 shares, I had 200 shares at $32.08. Now I have 220 shares at $31.76, right? And I just want to briefly talk about why it is I purchased that, right? So with Curve ETFs, they actually are able to capture the appreciation of the underlying asset while still paying a really, really nice monthly dividend, right? So because Amazon has been down recently, right? If we look at the Amazon stock, the underlying, the actual Amazon stock, it is down, right? But we know that Amazon is still a great company. Amazon still generates massive amounts of revenue. They are highly, highly profitable. And so long term, Amazon isn't going anywhere. They are the world's largest online retailer, right? So I'm taking advantage of this opportunity to buy at a discounted price, right? Again, this is where you really get rich because you're acquiring assets at a discounted price. Now, the next one that I added more shares to is NVDY from YieldMax. Again, the underlying stock is Nvidia. If we go back to the 1 month, it is down 2% over the past month. It is actually up over the past 6 months, but over the past 5 days, it is down 10%, right? We can see the 52-week high is $153 a share. And as of today, it is at $115 a share. And if we look at NVDY, we can see the 52-week high is $31 a share. And the 52-week low is basically where it's trading at today, right? So I'm getting it at a discounted price, right? So what I did here was I already had 800 shares of NVDY. I now have 850 shares of NVDY. And you can see here, I bought 50 shares here of NVDY at $16.79 per share. That was today, right? And so again, I went ahead and upped the ante, added some more shares in my position, lower that cost average, right? Before this, my cost average was $20.32 a share, and now it's $20.11 a share. So, you know, it may not sound like I moved the needle much, but every share counts, right? Because as you're accumulating shares over time, you're also increasing your dividend income, and as an income investor, that is exactly what I'm looking for, right? So again, this is just a reminder to people to, like Warren Buffett said, right? Be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful, right? We know that the market in the temporary moves off of the news, right? If we just look at Nvidia and we look at the cover page on Google, we can see Nvidia shares fall 9% on tariff fears. Again, fears. It's all fear in the market. But you got to remember, guys, fundamentally, these companies have not changed, right? Nvidia is still an industry leader. Their net profit margin is out of this world. This is higher than most any other major company in the world. Their revenue is ridiculous. Amazon, right? Another one. People are still ordering packages off of Amazon. You probably have an Amazon package coming your way sometime soon. You probably have something on your wish list. We all know it. You know it. I know it. Nobody's moving away from Amazon, right? They've made it too convenient to be a consumer, right? So Amazon generates massive amounts of revenue, and Amazon isn't going anywhere. But in the temporary, this news, right, all this tariff stuff and all this stuff is always going to influence the market in the temporary. But when you zoom out, you can see that these companies continue to go up in value. And if you want to get a bigger snapshot of the market as a whole, you can see that over the past 5 years, the S&P is still up 94%, right? Over the past year, it's still up 12%, right? But in the temporary, it is red. So these are the moments where you want to position yourself in order to be successful, right? So that's what I'm doing. I just wanted to show you guys a couple of purchases that I've made today. I'm going to continue nibbling at these stocks and these ETFs and adding to my positions. I may even add some new positions over the next month or two, depending if, you know, the market stays down like this. I'm kind of hoping that the market has a prolonged down period, because again, these are the moments where you get rich, because you're able to accumulate great assets that generate cash flow at a discounted price, right? So you guys let me know in the comments, what are you guys investing in? Is there anything specific you're investing in? Are you starting any new positions? Are you averaging down on any of your existing positions? You guys let me know in the comments. As always, I appreciate you stopping by the channel, and I will catch you in the next video.